And Spica has shown that you can rely on him to have these early game paths towards these solo lanes and get some early pressure towards dragon stacking and the first Rift Herald. He's kind of bullied his way into neutral objectives thus far in the series, but I don't see any reason to stop off on Tristana Rell as a 1-2-4 EG. And they correct again, just from the first game where they had a little bit of draft order that they needed to clean up and grab that combo once again.
I mean, hey, if you just want to play it by the numbers, 58% win rate on Rell, 65% win rate on Tristana. These champions win games, man, especially together. They are scary stuff. Locked in immediately here for Evil Geniuses. The response from TSM, switching things up here a little bit. The Xayah, once again, will be made sure that they can have that one for Lost. But Orianna locked in for PowerOfEvil. Previously, PowerOfEvil has had to make his pick in the second half of the draft, and it's Evil Geniuses always focusing him with the bans. TSM has said, all right, we want to put PowerOfEvil on Comfort, one of his most iconic champions in the Orianna. They'll get that one before any more bans can come through, and Evil Geniuses is saying, you know what? We like how game 2 looked. Let's run this back.
And what you're going to give up by giving PowerOfEvil SwordArt's spot here in Champ Select, basically, is you're now going to sustain 2 more support bans, because in the previous games, both of them, TSM, they lock in for SwordArt, their answer to Rell here in the bottom side of the Alistar. By moving up the priority on Orianna for PowerOfEvil so they don't get double banned in mid lane here for TSM, you are then taking the hit in your support role, and you don't get the Alistar, plus you don't get the other main engage here, Rakan, to go with the Xayah and play off of the extra range that you get out of having that lovers duo bottom lane. Still being said there for SwordArt, you have plenty of options on the bottom side. You can still go with the Thresh if you want. You can also try and go melee and have another melee option depending on what you want to pick for Huni on the top side. You might still want to have Huni with split push options, and then would probably want another melee CC support for SwordArt to go alongside the Udyr front line, since they have invested in PowerOfEvil's Orianna, the super confident scaling champion here for him for some of these team fights.
Yone is locked in for Evil Geniuses. They know that they don't have to blind pick their mid laner here. They'll take that up into the Orianna. The choice for TSM in the top side is the Nocturne. Huni had some good plays on that one when we saw it in the first game of this series. They'll run it back here again. Nautilus picked up as that tanky engage frontliner type of support here. Despite the fact that Alistar and Rakan are banned away, there's 150 champions in League of Legends, man. You can't ban everything out from the same role, and so SwordArt will be on that big old tanky dude down there. Final pick of the draft goes to Impact. What will the choice be? And there it is, the Volibear in the top lane.
Love the Volibear top side. Impact can also dominate lane on this one. Versus a Nocturne is going to be more tanky. You have to be super wary of Spica's presence here on the Udyr. This 2v2 is going to be difficult. If they get on the Lillia is definitely dead. So when flashes are available, Svenskeren definitely has to play that 2v2 kind of scared, a little bit safe there, but it does give them some fighting power on the top side of the map, and then Impact can also come for dives later with this team, and that's what EG have a great threatening setup here. They can dive towers with teleport from Volibear, with Rell on the front lines there setting it up, and they can also blow up those towers afterwards, with Tristana explosive shot. But I love the progression that we've seen in Champ Select over this best of 5, and just the small adjustments that are made each game. First game, TSM throwing down, stomping here, and you get the small adjustment, which we think is a really big one, actually, for EG, and upping their priority on the Rell pick and getting that one first. But now the counter from TSM, upping the priority on PowerOfEvil's champion pool, because when push comes to shove, you want him on a control mage. You want him on a scaling team fight carry for your team. And at the cost of slowly, at a little bit of a bump down on priority here for SwordArt, but still getting the Nautilus. You can Nautilus ultimate and Nocturne ultimate the same carry if you're fighting a team fight. And that makes that carry a dead man walking, basically, because you're not getting out of Nautilus ultimate, and Nocturne is going to find you back there, even if you kite back through the rest of your team. Actually, just trails the Nautilus ultimate through the rest of them and causes some other problems that way. So they still have the same focus, just with these little adjustments.
And I will be watching Jiizuke on the Yone here in this game. Remember back in game number 1, PowerOfEvil got to be on one of those scaling team fight type of mages, traditional control mage type of pick in the Syndra, and he had a much greater impact on the game than his counterpart did. Jiizuke wasn't rotating to the fights as quickly. He wasn't landing as valuable of hits with his abilities. So now he gets a chance to redeem himself. Of course, he's not in the same matchup, but it is Orianna, so similar type of champion. And I want to see if he can pop off here on the Yone up against PoE. On a champ that, man, we have seen him play so many different times and have so many big moves on.
Yep, keep an eye out for the 3-minute early gank timer as well. I think we'll see Jiizuke warding opposite quadrant of the jungle. Usually what you want to do in the early game is suss out where the enemy jungler started, and then especially if you're playing against one of these types of setups, you want to ward either bottom or top side river brush to make sure you can hover safely to one side, hover to your jungler's quadrant. Make sure you don't become the victim of one of those early first bloods if Spica decides to cut his route short. And it looks like heading up to the top side now probably will be blue side start for Spica, looking at possible bottom lane influence there.
Alrighty, let's see how we're going to have the level 1 play out this time. Last time was a little bit spicy. We had junglers stealing each other's camps, walking right by each other in the river. But this time around, everybody seems to be staying on their side of the line of scrimmage that is the river. So we'll see if it turns into a delayed invade. Right now, not looking that way.
Sweeper used.
Got an on my way ping from Huni into the top side, so he'll just stand guard here in that top river. And we've got junglers on opposite sides of the map here as we're beginning. Spica looks like he's heading towards his own blue, and Svenskeren will be doing the same with his blue.
Yeah, and they actually early used the sweeper on Ignar to try and sweep for any deep wards that TSM were able to get in. So they aren't going to go, as soon as you see that usage on your side of the map of the sweeper from level 1, you know they're not going to go for another delayed invade, attempting to, fight at Raptors or something. So it's going to be more conservative start for both junglers here, but more of a top side focus and end here for Svenskeren to try and get some pressure up there for impact. And Huni did, again, deep ward that Krug that we see. So they know that it's not a red quadrant start for Svenskeren. So Huni's got to play appropriately here on the Nocturne. Even though you do like to be able to push early on with it, you see Huni is actually letting impact push up on him. On the Volibear, Impact fought Huni already and was able to get the early health lead and does get the level 2 as well.
Huni using the spell shield a little early there means it'll expire before the lightning comes down, so he has to step out of the AoE of that one as Impact gets the shield, shoves that wave up. I like the fact that Huni is playing this defensively for the reasons you already pointed out. Svenskeren is on the top half of the map now, which means Spica is on the bottom. However, not a lot of plays to be made down here for Spica, considering the fact that it's his lane that's shoved up all the way there in the bottom side. Jiizuke going in very aggressively onto PowerOfEvil here with the early Yone trades. And you'll just see that bottom lane wave about to collide with the turret here as Ignar gets pulled in.
Oh
nice damage coming out from TSM. Ignar gets away thanks to the heal from Deftly.
Yeah, SwordArt, though, getting a summoner spell burned on bottom side with a really nice hook into the big minion wave there. Getting that kill on the minion and finding the hook onto Ignar, earning a summoner spell for basically free here. Huge, huge potential, considering, remember, Spica started top quadrant jungle, so this is well prepped even for a follow-up dive. No heal, no defensive summoner now for EG, no flash on Deftly either.
Definitely already flashing means this could go very bad very quickly. Nice stun there, trying to keep him alive, but it's first blood over to Spica, and Udyr makes it happen.
Bottom lane supremacy for TSM in game number 3 is the difference here, Captain Flowers. SwordArt and Lost just burn 2 summoner spells all by themselves on the EG bottom lane. And then Spica is like, perfect, already routed towards bottom side, comes in for the easy dive. There's no surprise there from Tristana with no flash available. He can just flash in. They get the follow-up, Rell combination. And Huni does have Conqueror, but Impact, that bite definitely hurts here. The best thing about Volibear for top side is being able to fight those 2v2s. And they did just have a reset on bottom side, so he knows Spica can't be up here yet.
Right. And you even saw during that first trade, Huni got the spell shield properly onto that big lightning bolt that Impact's able to summon, and he still lost the trade. And then when that second one comes down, the spell shield isn't off of cooldown in time. So Impact really taking control there in those trades. Grasp the Undying, helping him out with that. Spica makes his way into the top side, will not be seen. Impact is unaware of what's going on. He's got the flash to try to get away, but Spica is a very, very fast Udyr. Impact's trying to run it all the way out, and thanks to Ignar, he's just fine.
Yeah, he does have to burn flash to do it, but it's a pretty good evasive maneuver there. You see him proc his Q as he first casts his E, so it's going to fall where he flashes to. Honestly, really good disengage there by Impact. Still positive for TSM as they burn, you know, the Volibear flash makes it a lot more difficult for Impact to try and play aggressively like we've been seeing, trading with this Nocturne over and over, and we're approaching Huni level 6 on the Nocturne. So these solo lanes, this top half of the map has to be a lot more careful. You know, if you're now able to push up on Nocturne, considering there's no flash on Volibear, and Volibear starts giving up minion wave push, that means TSM would have both side lanes pushing, plus a Nocturne ultimate to be able to travel with, and definitely sets them up so for really big kind of a domino effect off that top lane gank here for TSM. If EG can go the next 2 minutes without sustaining a big loss here, I think that would be very good for them, because TSM did a good job now setting themselves up for success and opening up both sides to be pushing here.
Yeah, TSM's feeling great in this bottom lane. You saw Ignar rotating to both of the solos, trying to help those guys out, making sure that Impact survived the gank attempt, helping Jiizuke shove out the wave and get a proper reset timer. But that just meant that Deftly was stuck underneath the turret in a 1v2, which allowed this minion wave lead to get up to about 2 waves here on the bottom side. And considering that bottom lane control, it is easy peasy 1-2-3-0 for Spica to just walk on into that dragon pit and take that neutral objective here yet again. Ignar's about to face check the brush. This could go very poorly. Svenskeren's down here now. Jiizuke will be the first one rotating over from mid lane. TSM taking some damage here in the river. This is not what they wanted to see. Svenskeren grabs the first kill. Jiizuke finds the knock up here with the Q3. Svenskeren going in for even more damage. TSM, what was that?
That was some bad communication, Flowers, because they walk in as 2 people versus 3. It's got to be communicated. Jiizuke, level 6 Yone, has inside route off of mid lane. EG had Jiizuke a good 1.5 seconds roaming from mid lane before PowerOfEvil. That was a huge difference in Yone priority off of mid lane. Meanwhile, even though Lost is trading well with Deftly, in the bottom side map, he makes Deftly rocket jump away from him. That's a bottom lane lockup in they're trading over there. He can't join. Level 6 for Volibear can ult.
Volibear jumps away, uses that to buffer through the fear, guarantee that he won't get CC'd there, and gets out with about half HP remaining. So it's Nocturne ulti traded for Volibear ulti here in the top lane.
Yeah, and I don't think that's the kind of trade that TSM wants. You really want to try and use that Nocturne ultimate on a jungle invade or on a mid lane play to get some pressure, but they walk in at a huge timing disadvantage, and bam, Jiizuke just hard punishes them for it. They didn't communicate enough how quickly Jiizuke left mid lane, and so they walk right into it. Spica and SwordArt looking like way overconfident walking up to that river play.
Evil Geniuses pushing out the mid lane wave here once again, then rotating everybody up towards that top part of the map. Jiizuke sticks around for a plate because of Soul Unbound, allowing him to reset. Even though SwordArt is there, there's no real chance to punish. That's the power of the Yone and having that get out of jail free card.
Yeah, definitely feels good when nobody else can come pressure you at it. So turret plate money plus the kill and assists off the bottom lane play, Flowers. You wanted to see some big Yone. You've been looking for this from Jiizuke. I think this may be the game. This is at least the game where EG have the setup for him to do it. He's got flash still available on the Yone, even without the teleport. Should be able to get Ignar here to unlock him from mid lane and push him out.
All right, Jiizuke is the man with the plan. We'll see if he can keep popping off here 9 minutes into the game. Evil Geniuses has a very modest gold lead, but TSM with control over the neutral objectives will look to continue that control now, going after the first Rift Herald of the game. They've got Spica, they've got Huni, they got SwordArt. Everybody's hanging out up here. You can even see Lost leaving the bottom lane. Deftly's doing the same. Evil Geniuses coming in to contest. Impact's going in for Huni. Rift Herald down to about 1,000 HP. Jiizuke into the pit. Big Yone ulti coming through, but a nice shockwave to follow it up. Evil Geniuses still winning out in the fight. They've got the sleep. Spica's about to fall over. It is just an absolute slaughter, and Evil Geniuses is feeling great about it. The eyeball cannot be picked up. It belongs to TSM, but they are unable to claim it. And Evil Geniuses will guard this eye until it disappears into the ether. That is a huge win for them.
Yeah, that may be a TSM branded Rift Herald. It may have been produced by them, but EG owned that sucker, and they just stomp it into the dirt. Not picked up by TSM there. What a clap in this team fight. You've got an Orianna roaming over from mid lane, and Nocturne cannot survive in the middle of this pit.
Nope.
Just inherently a much less tanky champion as he gets focused down. Jiizuke ults right into the pit. You know, again, another half second earlier on the roam, and that's all that it takes to burn down a Nocturne. Huni has nowhere to go being inside that pit. He actually even flashed deeper into the pit to avoid the initial knock-up there, gets burned down, and EG, much like how they got an advantage in game number 2, they actually don't set up the play first themselves. They wait for TSM to set it up and then counter them with it. With poor positioning there as TSM kind of funneled themselves in and got caught inside of the pit. Orianna did come over and, you know, lands a shockwave, but until Orianna starts to scale up, she has mostly mana items right now in the early stages of the game. This is definitely a champion that really benefits from scaling in towards the mid game at least, to have those big impacts towards the team fight. Meanwhile, Jiizuke there on the Yone comes in. He's 2-2 now, was able to get the second kill onto Spica in the last one, further funding this maniac in the mid lane. He's got plenty of attack speed now, and I definitely foresee a teleport possibility coming up from the side of EG. They already have impacts, and Jiizuke's teleport will be coming up shortly.
And now we've reached the point in the game, my friend, with the 2,000 gold lead for Evil Geniuses. It's harder for Udyr to do that thing that you're talking about, that he's drafted to do, to control these neutral objectives, to guarantee that you have that neutral game on lock for your squad. When everybody's down 2,000 as a team, it's just too hard to do. And now up here in the top lane, you can see Impact just whooping Huni. He is having none of this. The 1v1 is just not going Huni's way. He's bought all the damage components as the Nocturne there for the Stride Breaker. You can see the inventory, pickaxe, longsword, even the tier. But that's not allowing him to have any sort of ability to contest Volibear in these 1v1s right now.
Yeah, Impact is saying, nice pick, dog. I don't know, what's this Nocturne supposed to do? Because I'm not seeing it. I can already envision the fan forums after this, flaming it all out of the place here for TSM, because again, this is the second game they've tried to follow the way of the LPL, picking the Nocturne topside, the flexible pick here. For Huni, but Impact has just gotten an advantage over it in lane both games, forced out cooldowns off of it in lane both times, and this is with Impact sustaining multiple bans by TSM, by the way. They Renekton and Gnar banned him this time around, and he's still able to get a lot of these, not only strong trades, but you get these incremental cooldowns. He forced Nocturne Ultimate to be used on top side of the map at least 2 times already, and it's not getting anything for TSM. Meanwhile, this Volibear transitions into such a good front line, health bar for EG. He's got already the Bramble Vest, so will be applying Grievous Wounds when people attack him, can jump right in and create so much space for the team fights of EG. The Nocturne top has really been a flop, honestly, for TSM. Even though I like, flexibility and looking for creative picks, and in the first game, it was eventually able to come out with a victory. I attribute that a lot to how it paired with the Rell, and you attach the Rell stun to the Nocturne, and that meant that later on in the team fights, Huni looked like a god. He's jumping in there. He 100% Tristana with the help of the Rell knockup, or the Rell stun, excuse me. Maybe he can still transition into an effective, dive party for a team fight. He's approaching Stride Breaker, and that is a huge part in getting off the Nocturne combo, but it just has not really had an effect in lane for TSM, that they might be looking for, or towards the Rift Herald fight.
Okay, we've got the blue buff now under pressure. Evil Genius is going in, and Impact starting off the fight right. Nice use of the shockwave there from PowerOfEvil. Means Jiizuke is not able to find his mark here just yet. Tries to reset, but it's a nice shutdown for TSM, and they outplay EG.
Okay, Captain Flowers, that's the money Huni's gonna need to have that impact, okay? Now he's got the shutdown money. He needs to make it worth. He's the one who gets the last hit there on Jiizuke just before Jiizuke snaps back to his body. That's really, really beneficial here for TSM because they do have a lot of scaling options. You can pass Huni the ball from Orianna for Nocturne and have really good synergy that way. PowerOfEvil now is level 11, does have a completed Luden's Echo. So Huni, as much as a lot of these trades on top side, TSM aren't getting advantages. Now, Nocturne with Stridebaker, if you pass him the ball from Orianna, this could very well be the difference in the team fight. Here's another look at the blue buff invade. Impact uses his ult really early to get this burst and chunk onto Spica. If it wasn't for PowerOfEvil's shockwave positioning that Yone ultimate with the pullback over to the side, Spica would have been dead. So that is a huge, huge play. I like your call out there as PowerOfEvil defensively, basically being able to use that shockwave. And then they also just barely within the stun duration lock up Jiizuke and get the last auto off for that gold, which actually means the completion of Stridebreaker on the side of Huni. So TSM right back out to it. They're much more well-equipped now, with, as we said, the first item completions here for Orianna and Nocturne to be able to pull off this combo.
And one thing I wanted to mention right before that play happened, very important to notice, Jiizuke went for the Gale Force on Yone. Oftentimes on Yasuo, on Yone, you see the Immortal Shield Bow. It gives him extra sustain. It gives him that mini Stair Axe type of shield. If Jiizuke would have had that item, he would not have died to the damage there. Shield would have been enough to keep him alive. It was just that last little bit that got him. So this more aggressive option does get punished almost immediately. And I'm going to make sure that we keep an eye on whether or not he sees value out of that Gale Force active as we progress further into the game. Second Rift Herald. This time, this one gets secures by EG, but the team fight's already starting off up here on the top side. Nautilus ulti down into Deftly, but he gets himself away. Svenskeren providing a little bit of pressure here off the side as TPs show up for either team. Lost continues going forward. Svenskeren's about to go down, but Lost goes in! Deftly gets himself a kill, and the enemy AD carry has delivered himself under the maw of death. TSM, they lose their AD carry, and they're about to lose their top lane turret as well. Jiizuke is just slashing through everybody here in the back. He will not find a kill thanks to exhaust, but EG's calling this one a win.
Oh yeah, they hard commit up there, and Svenskeren lures Lost into the tri-brush with the Zhonyas. Even with the wards going down on the side of TSM, they still walk right into it there for Lost. He gets bursted down. TSM, you can see quickly by the mini-map though, Spica was like, all right, well, that's that. We're out of here from top side. So at least TSM do pick up the second dragon for themselves on the bottom half of the map. That is going to be significant gold on the side of EG, though, because they also got top tower in addition to the team fight victory. Here's another look at it. Svenskeren does have his stopwatch, so Lost is seeing it. He just charges him down with the Gale Force. He flashes into the tri-brush right in to the Rell. He was also feeling, the YouTube highlights there, wanted to get that burst damage down, but even with the extra auto, wasn't going to be able to pull it off. Now, Huni is under attack in the side lane.
Oh, flash for flash. Huni is not long for this world. If EG has anything to say about it, Svenskeren using the sleep, and Jiizuke says, all right, we're going all the way in, and he cuts him down, resets his position there. The turret will take him down to half HP, but man, it does not even matter. Evil Genius is 7 kills to 2 now. But honestly, TSM's keeping the gold really close as they take down this tier 1 turret to trade for the tier 1 under pressure in the bottom lane. It'll stay about the same.
Yeah, definitely a top and bottom side trade of the map here, but Impact plays the weak side better. He backs off, and meanwhile, Huni slow on backing off, so Flash is burned as well as the extra kill for EG. It's these small advantages that EG are building up here. TSM's by no means is out of this, and they could, again, make a big Nocturne dive shockwave play, especially if Nautilus is able to be in range of the target to try and start it off. But EG, they continue to play better in some of these side skirmishes, getting little victories for themselves and really starting to add up here. As another kill for Jiizuke, is really going to make that offensive build with the Gale Force. You know, his attempts at 100% to zero somebody in a side lane or in a little skirmish is going to go through the roof here. BF Sword is added on top as he can build the Bloodthirster since he didn't go into the shield bow like you're saying. He can get his lifesteal and his shield from the Bloodthirster instead.
I like the decision there, making sure that he has enough survivability when he dives in like this. Evil Geniuses trying to be careful here as TSM invade the bottom side of their jungle. Ignar running away from Spica, has to disengage here with that dismount. And we'll see Jiizuke not confident enough to walk forward here. He doesn't know where everybody from TSM is. Huni is waiting around here in the brushes. He's ready to go, looking for a chance to jump into the fight. Gold still only 1,500 separating these teams as we're just 5 seconds away from the 20-minute mark. It is TSM who has a 2-1 Drake lead here as well. And they're still looking for this bottom side of the jungle play. Hex Flash coming out. Ignar going over the wall, looking to go in. Magnet Storm onto multiple people here, and his Evil Genius is fully committed. PowerOfEvil fully down. And that means TSM is heading for the hills. Evil Geniuses make the play.
What a play. It's Ignar again. Honestly, he has been so good with this Rell. It's been a Rell difference for this entire series, honestly.
It has.
TSM SwordArt looking great on it. Ignar looking great on it. Definitely a strong champion there, Flowers. Ignar, though, honestly, the team focus here to make that call. The call is made because Huni is bottom side with no teleport, and even though Nocturne is level 11 now, you still have to walk a decent range up the river if you want to join with just your ultimate on Nocturne. So it is Rell play. It is a Hex Flash play from Ignar, but it is this team focus from EG. Punishing the TSM attempt at split push there and jumping on TSM in the small moment where they can't have a rebuttal. And honestly, if you get the engage, there's no possibility of TSM getting their Nocturne Orianna combo off. Ignar goes right for PowerOfEvil, and PowerOfEvil is just locked up 100-0, straight dead. Once Rell gets on top of you, full CC combo there. Impact jumped right in, unstoppable on the Volibear. And you get the Yone ultimate across the entire team. It's where EG have a comfort zone here, where they can operate with full success. They all just dive right through. You even have the resets there for it, Deftly, and it results in a map state now that is incredibly favorable for EG, heading into Dragon number 4 here. 30 seconds on this Mountain Dragon. They can push out on bottom side of the map. TSM actually move in really quickly here to get vision control. So they can't actually get caught off guard, and they just now need to keep track of the flank from Impact, because that is a flash Volibear from the bottom side. That is, again, going to look for PoE.
All right, we're already going into the fight here. Nice two-man shockwave coming out. Lots of pressure on the Deftly in the back. He's walking away. He's staying alive, but Lost has the kill. Impact is not able to enter into the fight in time just yet. Jiizuke with a massive 3-man ulti across the team, but it is not enough. There's no damage around. Evil Geniuses falls to pieces. Svenskeren will not do a damn thing. A triple kill over to Lost, a quadra kill over to Lost. He has it in his name, but it's Evil Geniuses who couldn't win. TSM with a Bud Light ace.
Definitely got destroyed, Flowers. Yeah, even though Jiizuke flashes in for a huge ultimate to knock everybody up, the DPS is already dead. Definitely got Nautilus ultied. He got Shockwave right after it. It's this one, SwordArt heard, nice engage there, Ignar. This time around, SwordArt gets it with the Nautilus. Able to get the ult, able to get the hook. That combos into Shockwave, into Nocturne, and TSM. They just rushed down Baron. Yeah, the consolation prize of the Dragon actually pulled off there by Huni. He was trying to solo it, but I believe that it was going to be a quick reset there for EG. Anyway, here's another look at it. As you said, Deftly's already down. So when EG try to re-engage here, yes, they are able to catch the big grouping in their ulti, but there's no damage. So Lost can still walk away. He doesn't get taken down. It is the Quadra, and they get the last lockup in the end. Dragon, as we said, consolation prize does go over to EG, so they get number 2, but TSM are very happy now to be wearing purple. And again, if they can get the initiation themselves and they can get this combo off with the Shockwave being so expertly delivered to the backline, then it's going to be a completely different story. And this time around, Deftly does not have flash, he does not have heal, so the Tristana is going to be a sitting duck. You have rocket jump, but it's a fairly slow moving ability. And you kind of have to keep it in your head how you're going to position beforehand to get it off, rather than being able to use it really reactively like you can with Flash to some of these snap engages that TSM have for options.
We saw that. We saw that in that fight. Deftly was in that little preparing to jump animation that Tristana does when he got grabbed by SwordArt's hook. That was what started off the fight. Impact wasn't even there, and now they're going in to make another play. Impact using the ulti to disengage. That is a big team fight tool. TSM taking that one out of the kit for Evil Geniuses, making it so they don't have the resources they need. Impact, what are you doing this far out, buddy? TSM's prowling around. They're the ones making the plays. Evil Geniuses falling apart. TSM going straight for the throat.
Yeah, they're not done here. Now that there's 35 seconds without the main frontliner for EG, the turrets don't stand a chance. They can actually sync up here. You see they're just waiting by the cannon minion for the rest of mid lane to come in. Huni has already gotten up to top side inhibitor here, and TSM can threaten the dive. 20 seconds left on Impact means EG just have to give it.
This has been such an incredible and fast change of this game, man. That one fight, that Nautilus engage in the mid lane, one dredge line onto Deftly at the right time when Impact isn't there, and all of a sudden TSM, they've got a 5,000 gold lead. They've got control over the whole map. Thank you so much, graphics team. Look at how we had that nice little pond of red down there, and all of a sudden the blue mountains rise up over the horizon, and TSM is looking great here now with only 15 seconds left on this Baron buff. It's about to run out, but at a plus 4,000 gold advantage and the extra map pressure from taking out the mid lane inhib, I'd say this was a wildly successful Baron.
This is why so many people focus so much on team fights, because we saw the difference there with when EG get the engage over the wall onto the backline. You know, PoE instantly dies. TSM are, of course, going to lose that team fight. But it doesn't mean that TSM are not capable of pulling off that similar level of initiation. As you said, SwordArt, he's able to get the hook onto Deftly. Boom. Your backline member is now dead. You're losing half of your carry potential. And TSM, they make a clean sweep of it, actually getting bigger rewards with that Baron. Now, even with mid already down, they're using mid to gain priority to be able to rotate over to Huni. You just push your super minion all the way into base, forcing your opponents to clear it at Nexus turrets. That means the outer turret should go down to their hands.
Jiizuke just saying, all right, we can't beat him in a fair fight. I'm going to split push anyway, trying to apply some pressure down there. But the problem is TSM knows that they win these. One Yone versus the whole of TSM. I know exactly who's going to take the turret faster. Impact standing right on top of a ward, so TSM know exactly what they have to be aware of. They immediately turn to engage. They're going to fight Ignar. They get him down to half HP. Nocturne ulti means that Evil Geniuses aren't able to engage here. Svenskeren drops a sleep down onto 2, but it's not the ones they need. Spica's in some trouble, but a beautiful counter engage from PowerOfEvil will put this game in the dirt. Evil Geniuses went from feeling in control to losing the entirety of their base, the entirety of this game in 5 minutes. And it's TSM SwordArt with the big ol' anchor to the head, sealing the deal here in this game. TSM get the ace, TSM get the win, and TSM take us to match point.
Oh, I love the shout out there at the end too from Spica towards the LCK Udyr. Just gets the pick, lands the stun onto Tristana, and then power stance says we're gonna end the game. Doesn't have to do anything else. What a comeback there. You know, as EG were just starting to gain momentum off of their big Rell engage towards the mid stages of this game, TSM find the pick onto Deftly. It is SwordArt once again, point man for this team. He's a shot caller. He is also the playmaker. And even with Rell on the other side, even with allowing 2 more support bans, still able to pick up the Nautilus, still able to make the big team fight changing engage. And TSM, now they are at 2 wins here. Match point for them. It's gonna get dicey for EG, because we've seen now on screen this team fight prowess actually come out.
Yeah. Evil Geniuses were looking good in the beginning of this game, but TSM found the weakness in their armor. They found that weak spot on the boss. They took him down, and now they're the ones running the game. TSM have moved on to match point. We're moving on to a break, and once we're back, the State Farm Analyst Desk will be breaking down the win.